And the third and final meeting, we'll just say, we won't get too close to the building, but where we got this building here was where the engineering building stood. It once stood famously. So basically, that was the third point of contact. That was our point of contact. Well, actually, we'll just point the camera upwards. We don't want people to be imaged here. But basically, if we look here at this new revised TAFE building, and it's been like this for how many years? I think a very long time. This indeed was where I used to do my traineeship course with Xerox back in 1990. And we met in what was then the engineering building. So if we look here, we trained this thing on the outside of the building. So that was roughly there. Same place, but the thing was, we all know the scene in this part of the movie, the third stage, the third and final personal contact we made was indeed was the scene where we were. So we don't have to be here now. We're down set the scene, okay? So now basically we say that was the third and final scene in the real-time interaction we had. Alright, that was the third and final scene. I think we only met briefly. I think I was trying to touch base with the staff there, who I once knew from my 1990 traineeship course, working as a Xerox trainee, right? So that was a terrible year. But basically here, you can get more of an overview of the building, right? This is it. That was the corner. It was where I was. I bumped into you again. But I didn't want to see you at the time. I was jealous. I was believing the dinkum lies that you've heard me reiterate so many times. So basically we say, so I ran into you. It was a third and final real-time personal contact. It was then in the scene where indeed we ended up with radio silence. And so what happens? The famous scene that we remember, I remember of you, when you had me, well, I think we're in the stairwell. We just left the room there, or we're in the stairwell, or maybe it wasn't the stairwell, it was the class area, or somewhere in the entrance, right? So basically we entered so basically there it was. We, in the stairwell, or in the doorway leading to the stairwell, I don't quite clearly recall, but pretty clearly. And then you hand me the calling card, and that was it. You had the words, the famous iconic words, and this thing will be called When You Need a Friend. So there you go. It takes me all these years, so basically on those two lies, Luigi, I rejected you. When you need a friend, okay, well, at the moment now, we say that is a no-brainer. I now know what those points of contact mean. They were repeated exposure to show, because of my dumb brain and the fact that I learned by repeated, examples. Because this is really weird. I mean, what is this over a bleeding piece of office equipment? I mean, come on, I feel like saying, a bit like the old Leighton Hewitt adage. Come on, he says, when he doesn't get his way in tennis. So basically I'm thinking, this is not logical, this is stupid. Really, it does, it feels stupid. So basically I've been wired up for this stuff. But I didn't know that this instinct was an instinct. It was like a form of weird, crazy instinct that was given. We all know that most creatures have instinct. They're biological ones. They're primordial ones. They can be desire for, human contact is like desire for affection, for hugs, for kisses, or friendship, right? But then we've got the more primitive ones, but then we've got sexual desire, which applies to the most tiniest of creatures. I don't know whether single-celled creatures would qualify, but most creatures have it. It's wired up. It's what we call instinct. We've got the flight and fight response, right? The thing that I've been working on most of my life. Instead of happy human contact or warmth and fuzzy feelings of getting from people, my basic defaults that I've had to operate on, survival instincts, was fight and flight. So I'll just turn this off.